Welcome to our broadcast today, and this is the usual spot where we always talk about healthy living and lifestyle. And today's topic is genotype. This is Joy TV, proudly associated with Joy Assembly Ministries, located in Wuppertal, headed by our spiritual father, Pastor Gideon Uke Emele. With me in the studio is, please introduce yourself.
I name my humble self Nelson Yobosaho, and you are all welcome to this segment of Daily Living and Lifestyle. You are welcome once again.
Thank you. My name is Juliet, and we are discussing genotype and the related questions about the topic. And when we were contemplating about this topic, the right person to bring along was Brother Nelson. Brother Nelson, what is genotype?
Yeah, genotype is a part of genetics making up a cell, or in other words, it is the inheritable gene from a parent to an offspring.
Okay. Is genotype and blood group the same thing, or is there a difference?
Yeah, at times we get it a little bit wrong at times when we mention blood groups and genotypes. So I'll be talking a little more about it to do like a little difference about it to the box because genotypes on its own, it's a very very broad topic. If we should start talking about it today, maybe at the end of today we'll not still be true about it. So I want to
Okay.
keep about it. So blood group, this is the expression of the genes. When I mean the expression of the genes, there are more than 25 blood groups, but the two most important significant type of blood groups are the ABO groups and the ROHD groups. That is the results. But
Mm,
we won't be going down deep into it. I'm just trying to highlight some
mm,
points out. Then the
yeah.
ABO group has other groups in it.
Mm,
We have the A blood group, the B blood group, the OB blood, and the AB blood group, and the O blood group. Then the ROHD,
mm,
that's for short, is normally called resource system, but we call it ROHD for short. As yours too, which is the ROHD positive blood group and the ROHD negative blood group. You
mm,
understand? Then
yeah.
when we talk about genotype is the genes that carries. This is the genes you carry from. How am I going to put it? Like genotype is this the gene you extract or you carry from your parents to the offspring, and this indicates the proteins, the types of proteins that is in the red blood cells.
Mm,
When we're talking about genotype, we're talking about the proteins that the red blood cells carries. That protein, like the hemoglobin, we call it
mm,
hemoglobin, that the red blood that is present in the red blood cells. That is the genotype. And then we have hemoglobins like AA, hemoglobins like the AS, the AC, the SC, and the SS.
Those that you just talked about, are they the types of genotype?
Yes, these are the types of the common genotypes.
Ah, okay.
The AS, the AA, the SC, and the AC.
Okay. I've always met and discussed this topic, genotype, with different people, but I really want to know because people make it sound that it is very important to know one's genotype, like, for example, before getting married. Why
Yeah,
is it important?
yes, it is very, very, very important for us to know our genotype before in like engaging ourselves in marriage activities. You know, when you are into courtship, the first thing you are supposed to do is to tell your spouse that the both of you have to go check for to
Mm,
go do your genotype, to go for a test to know the kind of genotype you are carrying, the kind of hemoglobin that you possess in you.
mm,
So it's better you consult a doctor, you run a genotype test, you know where you belong because at times in our modern days like this, you see um, individuals having sickles SS, and the other parties having SS. Getting
Mm,
married. At the end of the day, you see them producing offspring with sickle cell anemia, the one normally known as the sicklers. That's what we call them in layman terms. We call sicklers, but
mm,
in medical terms, it's called the sickle cell anemia. So it is advisable for young ones who are just coming up, who wanting to get married, to know their status, their genotype status, so that at the end of the day they don't end up producing offsprings with sickle cell
mm,
anemia, thereby spending their money and their time and wanting for waiting for God divine healings, which you have to
mm.
these are the things we have to know.
Yeah.
Since we said we are made in the likeness and image of God, so our God is a very very brilliant God. So,
Mm,
and I think we should be able to reason and think like him if we are made in His image and likeness. These things
mm,
have been there. It has been there. You just have to make inquiries. You just have to know your status. Not
mm,
everything you have to wait for God to come and start crying for God to heal. When you know these things, you are supposed to do it at the initial stage and at the beginning of the courtship. You are supposed to know your relationship
mm.
and your genotype status.
Okay. Still right there at couples who are likely to get married soon while they're still trying to find about their genotypes and everything. Of
Yeah,
these two, between the couple, who has
yeah.
the strongest genes?
Okay.
Between a mother and the father, or a man and
The
a woman?
yes, recently,
Mm,
uh, scientific research has just been able to prove that the father, which is the paternal, yes,
mm,
the paternal gene is more dominant than that of the mother. In other words, it means that the father's gene is more dominant, is more recurring, like it's more stronger than that of the woman.
then I think maybe there's one of our viewers who would love to know what genotypes are advisable to get married to each other.
Yeah, okay. The genotypes that are really advisable to get married to each other, the AA as a man,
Mm,
AA and a woman, AA
mm,
is excellent combination. It's an excellent combination. They can get married to each other, and
mm,
again they produce offsprings with AAs,
mm,
which is very, very good. Then offsprings with AA and AS as well can get married to each other. Still very good. Then we have offsprings like AA, like a man with AA and a woman with SS. It's a little bit okay, like it's good a little bit.
mm.
Then a man or a woman with AA can as well get married to a man or a woman with AC. It's another good uh, genotype
Okay.
combination. Yes.
Okay, and which ones of those that are not compatible to get married to each other?
Okay. AS and AS are
Mm,
not really compatible. They're bad combination because if there's what we call crossbreeding, even before, like I can crossbreed it here. I know
mm,
when I know what's gonna when I know what a man with AS and a woman with AS are gonna give birth to. Even that consulting a doctor, I already know because I can crossbreed it from here. A man with AS and AS at the end gives birth to AA, AS, AS, and SS. So you see, there's still this sickle cell anemia running in the family. At the end, they'll end
mm,
up with a child with the sickle cell anemia, whereby they'll start spending their money on their time running a task at trying to make sure the kids survive, which is not really good. We have another genotype like the AS and SS, very bad.
mm.
Telling you, very
All
bad.
right.
Then other genotype like the SS and SS, which is extremely very, very bad.
Mm,
That is not even advisable at all. You don't just go there. SS and SS are not advisable to get married
mm,
medically because we end up producing offspring with sickle cell anemia all through. Then we have other genotype like the AS and AC. It's bad, though. I will advise them before getting married to consult a medical doctor for advice. Yeah,
Okay, for those of you that have just joined us, we are in a segment of healthy living and lifestyle, and
yeah.
today we are discussing genotype. For anything that you want to know along those lines, feel free to leave a comment below and we will be able to read it. But before we go into our next question, I would love to let you all know that the annual Summer Grill Fest is scheduled for the 11th of July 2020. Expect a lot of grilling, refreshments, games, interactions. So we hope you will be there. For more information, we have a flyer. Just scroll through our page. You will see it and get more details on how to be part of that fest. Brother Nelson, anything you want to tell us more about genotype?
Yeah, I think I have to talk about, like, let everybody know that we have three types of genotypes. Normally, we have three types of genotype, but although I won't be going down deep into it, but
Mm,
I have the genotype like the homozygous and dominant.
mm,
Then I have the genotype like the homozygous recessive.
mm,
And I have the genotype like the heterozygous, like the heterozygous genotypes.
mm,
When we're talking about the homozygous dominant, like these are the genotypes that the traits, the genes that are often that will occur in the offspring of the like the offspring of the parent. Then
mm,
the recessive, like, and those dominant. Okay, let me talk about dominant again. The homozygous dominant. They are normally um, gotten mainly from the parents. Since we said the genes of the father is more dominant than that of the feminine, so these traits are normally gotten from the traits from the father.
mm,
Zygous recessive, it's a gene that is still very strong, but not that reoccurring like the dominant gene gotten from the father to the offsprings, you know. So we won't be talking much about that today. Then
mm,
I know we're talking about genetics, genes and genetics when
mm,
talking about genotype. Yes, genes or genetics is a branch of biology and deals with the hereditary from an offspring or an organisms
mm,
um, in an offspring on an organisms from the parents. Then this hereditary in a layman's what is called like inheritance, like
mm.
what you inherit from your father
Parents
or
of.
your mother, the parents. You
Mm,
know that that is hereditary in a layman's. I just talked about it in a layman's term, and these things can be physical. This
mm,
hereditary can be physical. These traits can be physical, like the human, like the hair, the eye colors, and
mm.
these are physical and hereditary from the parents to an offspring.
So, for example, the people who are already married
Yeah.
and their genotypes are not compatible,
Hmm.
is there something scientifically they can do to reverse the likely effects? Is that possible?
For me, I think the mistake has already been made. That is why I'm advising everybody now that are
Mm,
yet to get married to make sure they know their genotypes before involving themselves or getting themselves into marriage. But as for those that have fallen victims of this,
mm,
I will advise them to consult a doctor for medical advice.
mhm,
There might be the things that they are supposed
mm,
to do. There might be
mm.
some food or some drugs that they are supposed to be taking. So it's better they consult a doctor for that.
Okay. Well, for those of you that have just joined us and you missed the first part of our broadcast, when we are done here, please feel free to go back and watch it from the beginning.
Yeah.
I would like to also remind you that our Grill Fest is on the 11th of July. If you want to
Yeah.
be part of this kindly send us a DM. We will gladly respond to your questions. And also, I would love to let you know that our church programs always run on Sunday from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. We also have a midweek service around 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. on Zoom. For any other information that you would love to know about Joy Assembly Ministries, please send us a DM or leave a comment. We will read it and respond. I think we will have to go because of
Okay.
time. We will
Okay.
have to go. We will be back next Saturday. Not sure of the time, but please bear with us because of other responsibilities. We will let you know. I've been with Brother Nelson. Thank you so much for educating
Always,
the world.
you're
Thank you
always
so
welcome.
much for sharing your knowledge. Till next
You're
time, bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.